Another week in the books. What's going on? I'm Dustin. Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Before we get into the must-adds in all leagues, if you haven't joined our fantasy games yet, you should. It's a lot of fun. Chance to win a sweet FS t-shirt. Click on Fantasy Games, sign up. Under the check out the action tab, you'll see his third one from the left. And if you tried to find it early in the week, it's not generated until about Wednesday or Thursday. So come back, go ahead, sign in. It's a lot of fun. Must-adds. Holy Amendola. Wow, what a game for this guy. Only on 50% of leagues. Now, as far as potentially using a good waiver number on anyone this week, he would probably be the guy that I would put on top of the list, but probably only in PPR leagues. If you're in a full-point PPR, I would consider Amendola with the number one waiver, but only if you're desperate for a wide receiver. Standard leagues, I'd use a decent waiver on him, but nothing too amazing. But this guy played great. We knew he was a Welker-ish type player, but I don't think anyone saw these type of numbers coming this week. So definitely worth a look. Rams don't really have that much on offense, so he's going to have decent value if he can stay healthy. Next, we got Brown for the Giants. Bradshaw's got that neck stinger. He's probably not going to play on Thursday. They got a short week. Brown has passed the rookie Wilson on the depth chart. He could be a decent spot start for you if you need running back help. Moving on, Mendenhall, owned in 65% of leagues. I'm sure you all are getting as annoyed as I am about the full participant in practice for Mendenhall all week. Enough of that crap. He's not ready to play, but he's probably not that far away. I'm thinking only a couple more weeks for him. So at this point, you gotta just pick him up and stash him. He was a number one, a first round pick last year. I don't know if we'll ever get that back to that status, but with Dwyer and Redmond only playing okay, if Mendenhall is even close to what he used to be, he's gonna take that job back. Moving on, we have LaShore, another guy that's just worth picking up to see what happens. The Lions are a mess with the running back situation. Kevin Smith has looked okay, but they were even pulling him last week for Bell. I really don't think they have much confidence in any of their running game right now. I can see LaShore going in and just taking over the majority of the carries right away, and he's probably going to get the goal lines on that high-powered offense. One last must-add in all leagues, Mark Ingram. I know you guys might be sick of me talking about him. Only owned in 60% of leagues. I really don't understand that. I know he doesn't have a huge upside. I know he's not going to be a top 15 guy. But he's, just like I said, what happened last week, he had right around 15 touches, and he gets the goal lines. That's what he's going to do with that offense. As long as the Saints are in a close game or playing with a lead, he's going to touch the ball and probably get the goal lines. He's worth an add for your bye weeks and just a decent guy to have on your bench and maybe spot start when he's got decent matchups. I don't see where all the hate's coming from. He's still a decent fantasy option. All right, let's talk about some guys to add in deeper leagues. First one, Mike Goodson. I still don't understand why McFadden owners aren't handcuffing him. McFadden is one of the most injury players in the league, and Goodson proved last week that he can do it when he gets a chance. He looked great. Didn't really run the ball that well, but had a couple of big receptions, one long one for a touchdown. If this guy gets a chance to start, when McFadden goes down, Goodson could be a top 15 guy. I think he's well worth an add, even if you don't own McFadden, if you're looking for a high upside guy on your bench. Next, Darrell Richardson for the Saints, or for the Rams. We talked about him last week. He's only owned in 5% of leagues. I really liked him coming into last week. Steven Jackson got hurt, and it's a little fishy with this injury. They said he could have come back, but Richardson was playing so well that they didn't see the need to rush Jackson back. We'll see how this shakes out, but Richardson looked good. He did fumble at the end of the game. That could have cost him the game, actually, but it didn't, so hopefully that won't hurt Richardson's value. But I think he's worth an add in deeper leagues, and if you need a handcuff for Steven Jackson. Moving on, we got Andrew Hawkins, wide receiver for the Bengals. We talked about him last week. In week 2, he had a touchdown. He's a speedster. This guy is lightning quick. The Bengals are going to look to get the ball in his hand. I do like his upside this year. One pick up and play defense for you. I don't love them, but I don't mind Miami. They haven't done that much on defense so far. They haven't really had that many sacks or forced that many turnovers, but Sanchez looked like the Sanchez of old in week 2. Miami's playing the Jets at home. I think they could force some turnovers. And Sean Green a little bit banged up. Jets don't have a ton of weapons on offense to begin with. I think Miami could be decent this week 3 for a pick-up and play defense. All right, now let's talk about some tight ends. With Aaron Hernandez out, Gates banged up, Heath Miller, someone please explain to me why this mediocre tight end is owned in 35% of leagues. Don't believe his numbers. He's been nothing more but a mediocre tight end his entire career. Same with Greg Olsen. That's right. That one's for you, Nameco. I mean, there's 4 tight ends where people, they're either injured or they're not playing that well, so you might be looking for, a different guy to go for, or a guy with more upside as far as Heath Miller goes. I know he's had a touchdown each of the first 2 games, but there's still really not much upside there. Dennis Pitta, I really like this guy. I wasn't totally believing it after week 1, but now I'm a believer. The Ravens, they have Smith, who's kind of a deep threat guy. Bolden's getting older, but Flacco's going to have to have a target like Pitta for those short to mid-range routes. I really like his upside moving forward. Same with Kyle Rudolph. We liked him coming into the year. He's only on 35% of leagues right now. Had a touchdown week 2. I think he's definitely going to have some value this year. And also Jared Cook, owned in 65% of leagues. We really liked him coming into the year. He's had a decent amount of catches for the Titans, but he hasn't really put together a big game yet. But I'm not giving up on Jared Cook. I really like him as well. So if you're one of those teams looking for a tight end, there's 3 guys that could definitely help you out. Moving on, we got one individual defensive player for you, and that's Aaron Henderson for the Vikings. This guy has been busy for them. He has 13 solo tackles, 9 assists, 2 sacks already this year. I think he's definitely worth a look if you're looking for a tackle machine at the linebacker position. And one guy to add to your watch list, so we talked about this guy before. He was my sleeper for week 1. Didn't exactly work out, although he did almost have a touchdown week 1, and he actually did have a touchdown week 2. Kendall Wright for Tennessee, only on 35% of leagues. Kenny Britt's banged up. Nate Washington's an old man. They drafted Wright in the first round. I think they could look for him to potentially take over as one of the starters if Britt or Washington have a hard time staying on the floor or staying on the field. So this is just a portion of the week 3 waiver wire. To see the full list, get onto the website. And please, if you got any questions, post them in our forums. We got that army of experts in there working hard trying to answer every last one of them. I'm Dustin. Brent and I'll see you later in the week.